This man feels jealous and insecure about his relationship with a popular music celebrity. Now, he asks her to choose between him and the music career she has built all her life. Guys, what do you think she will choose? Will she settle for her music career, or will she sacrifice her career for her relationship? Let's find out. Kindly subscribe to this channel to get more of our latest stories. One day, Heaven came to perform at a musical concert. As she sang, her fans and the entire audience enjoyed her performance. Meanwhile, her boyfriend, Lucas, noticed a fan staring at her while licking his lips, which made him uncomfortable. After her performance, Heaven met Lucas and asked how she did, but he responded with a cold attitude, simply saying it was okay. Sensing his displeasure, she asked what was wrong, but he ignored her concerns. Then, a fan approached to take a picture with her, but her bodyguard stopped him. However, Heaven insisted and allowed the fan to take a picture with her, which further upset Lucas. She then promised him that she would no longer interact with her fans, but immediately after, another fan came forward to offer her a flower. The bodyguard tried to block him, but Heaven told him to allow it. The fan complimented her, handed her the flower, and whispered some kind words in her ear, which further angered Lucas, causing him to walk away in frustration. When they got home, Lucas expressed his frustration to Heaven about how uncomfortable he felt with her fans getting close to her. They argued, and in the heat of the moment, Lucas threw away the flower the fan had given her and stormed off. Guys, do you think Lucas's reaction is justifiable, or is he overreacting? Drop your thoughts in the comments section. That night, Heaven tried to talk to Lucas, but he ignored her. She persisted, and eventually, they made up and spent a peaceful evening together. The following morning, in the kitchen, Lucas and Heaven enjoyed each other's company. As they chatted, Lucas brought up how uncomfortable he felt about the fan looking at her during the concert. They laughed it off and continued enjoying their time together. That same evening, Lucas and Heaven went on a date. As they ate and talked, Heaven tried to feed him, but his clothes got stained. She immediately apologized. Lucas then insisted that she remove her veil, but she refused, explaining that she didn't want her fans to recognize her and interrupt their time together. However, he persisted and she eventually removed it. After a while, two of her fans approached and interrupted their date to take pictures with her. Soon after, another fan requested a photo, which displeased Lucas. Unbeknownst to her, someone took a picture of her and Lucas together and posted it online. When they got home, they argued again. Lucas expressed his frustration, saying that he wanted more privacy with her. Heaven explained that as a public figure, it wouldn't be easy for her to have a private life. That same night, Heaven received a call from her manager regarding the picture. She quickly rushed downstairs to check and saw the photos of her and Lucas that someone had posted. Meanwhile, Lucas confided in his friend, expressing his doubts about his relationship with Heaven. He admitted that he felt uncomfortable dating someone in the public eye. Later that day, Heaven's manager dressed her up and insisted that she publicly deny the trending news about her relationship with Lucas. However, Heaven felt bad about it, explaining to her manager that Lucas was her real boyfriend. But her manager urged her to lie to protect her career. Guys, think about it. What should Heaven do in this situation? Should she reveal her personal life to the world, or should she deny the relationship to protect her career? Share your thoughts in the comments. At that moment, Heaven went live and told her fans that she was not in a relationship. She claimed that Lucas, the oil-stained man, was just a random fan she had dinner with. As soon as Lucas's friend showed him the live video, he felt deeply hurt and displeased. That evening, when Lucas got home, he argued with Heaven about the video she made. He accused her of being ashamed of him, saying that she denied him in public because he doesn't have a good accent or isn't a public figure. Heaven explained that she didn't want their relationship to be public, and also shared her concerns that if their relationship didn't work out, people would mock her. Lucas eventually understood, and they reconciled and got along again. The following day, one of Heaven's fans approached her manager, insisting that he wanted to surprise her. The manager initially refused, but after his persistence, she eventually agreed. After the surprise was set up, Heaven's manager insisted that the fan leave, but he said he wanted to stay and see her reaction. As they were discussing it, Heaven walked in with her boyfriend Lucas. When she saw the decorated room, the gifts, and everything prepared for her, she felt excited. However, Lucas insulted the fan, making offensive remarks about his actions. In response, the fan rudely called Lucas the oil-stained guy, while Heaven, caught up in the glamorous surprise, didn't notice the tension. The fan insisted on taking a picture with her, and she agreed, which left Lucas feeling displeased. Later that day, as Heaven was looking through the pictures and feeling emotional, Lucas expressed his frustration. He told her that he had done so much for her, yet she never showed such emotion towards him. He also vented about how her fan had insulted him, then stormed off angrily. The following day, Heaven's manager discussed her upcoming events and schedule, but Heaven seemed distracted by everything she was going through. Her manager tried to cheer her up, encouraging her to stay focused, and they eventually got along. That same evening, while having dinner at Heaven's house, she mentioned the fan she had met again. Lucas immediately expressed his displeasure, saying he felt uncomfortable with this fan constantly stalking her. He then made some offensive remarks which upset Heaven, causing her to leave angrily. The following day, Heaven was alone in a restaurant. She admired a couple enjoying themselves peacefully when suddenly that same fan of hers walked in again. She insisted on calling her security, but he told her she wouldn't because she needed solitude. As she drank, Heaven became really drunk and told him to leave. When she tried to stand up and leave, she almost fell, and he helped her, unaware that the couple nearby was recording her. That same day, Lucas became really concerned when he couldn't reach Heaven. He called her manager to ask about her whereabouts. That night, Heaven came home drunk and fell asleep in the living room. The following morning, Lucas woke up and expressed his concerns to Heaven about where she had been. She explained how displeased she felt when he shouted at her. He apologized, and they reconciled. The next day, Heaven prepared for her music video shoot. She had a great time dancing with Lucas and shared her excitement with him. They even did a live video together. However, their moment was interrupted when her manager entered, intending to speak with Heaven. Despite Heaven's reluctance, her manager insisted and revealed that pictures of her with another man were trending online. Upon hearing this, Lucas checked his phone, felt displeased, and left. While Heaven blamed her manager for sharing such sensitive information with her boyfriend. Meanwhile, Lucas vented his frustrations to his friend, who reminded him that dating a celebrity meant sacrificing privacy. However, Lucas kept complaining. At the same time, Heaven was at her video shoot location, insisting to her manager that she wouldn't start filming until Lucas arrived. Her manager tried to talk her out of it, but Heaven remained firm. Meanwhile, Lucas's friend advised him to answer Heaven's call since it was her video shoot, but Lucas, consumed by jealousy, refused and walked away. After a while, Lucas finally arrived at the location. Heaven felt really happy, appreciated his presence, and then commenced her shoot. As they danced to start the video shoot, the music director suddenly cut the scene and yelled at Heaven to move her body and dance properly. She corrected herself and continued shooting, but he interrupted again, this time yelling at the dancers to move their bodies and dance, showing no concern for their feelings. As the performance continued, one of Heaven's fans walked in with a flower. Lucas, feeling irritated, confronted him. The fan mockingly called Lucas the oil-stained guy, which upset him. They exchanged offensive words before Lucas lost his temper and punched him. A fight broke out, disrupting the video shoot. That same night when they got home, Heaven was extremely upset. She blamed Lucas for embarrassing her in public and for not being able to control his emotions. She also expressed her frustration, revealing that a video of two men fighting over her was already circulating online. Angry and disappointed, she walked away. The next day, Lucas shared his frustration with his friend, saying he was done with the relationship. His friend tried to talk him out of it, but Lucas refused to listen, insisting that he had already made up his mind. That night, as they lay in bed, Heaven couldn't sleep. She felt overwhelmed and deeply worried about everything that was happening. The following morning, Heaven did a live video for her fans to promote her new music release. However, she was immediately distracted when Lucas came downstairs. They didn't say a word to each other, and he simply left. The next morning, as they both met while jogging, Heaven insisted that they resolve their dispute. But Lucas, exhausted by the way things were going, told her he was tired of their relationship. He then gave her an ultimatum. She had to choose between him and her music career. With that, he walked away, leaving Heaven in tears. Guys, what do you think Heaven should do? Should she choose her boyfriend and abandon the music career she has worked so hard to build? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section. That night, Heaven sat alone in her apartment, crying, when her manager came in to console her. The following day, Heaven was sitting in her living room after crying when her bodyguard informed her that a fan, Francis, was there to see her. She told her bodyguard that she wanted to be left alone. After a while, the bodyguard returned and told her that the fan was persistent, saying he would sleep outside if he wasn't allowed to see her. Eventually, she agreed to let him in. When Francis came in, she immediately asked what he wanted and expressed her displeasure at the nuisance he was causing. He quickly apologized and explained how excited he was to finally meet her. As they talked, his enthusiasm for seeing her in person fascinated Heaven. Meanwhile, Lucas's friend spoke to him about Heaven, pointing out that he hadn't been himself since the breakup and suggesting he try to fix things with her. However, Lucas pretended to be indifferent, insisting that he was done with the relationship because she had chosen her career over him. His friend, however, told him that if he were in her shoes, he would have made the same choice. The next day, Heaven was still in bed when her manager entered her room, insisting that she pull herself together. Heaven ignored her until she mentioned the upcoming music concert that Heaven was supposed to perform at. However, Heaven insisted on canceling the event and refunding the money, saying she wouldn't attend since Lucas wouldn't be there. That same day, Francis tried again to visit Heaven, but the security refused to let him in. When Heaven saw this, she insisted that her bodyguard allow him access. She accepted the flowers he brought, and they went inside together. Once inside, Francis complained about how her bodyguards had treated him. Heaven apologized, explaining that they were only trying to protect her. As their conversation continued, she opened up about her boyfriend. However, Francis spoke harshly about Lucas and dismissed him, which deeply upset Heaven. She firmly warned him not to speak that way about Lucas and left. Francis quickly apologized. Meanwhile, Lucas's friend mentioned the latest trending news about Heaven, acting sarcastic as if he didn't care. Lucas, pretending to be indifferent, said he wasn't interested and walked away. That night, Heaven cried over the negative comments about her online and how Lucas had left her, while her manager consoled her. The following day, Francis gave Heaven's bodyguard a letter to deliver to her. When she received it, she read through it and saw that he was requesting to meet her for a date. Later that day, when they met, they had a great time together, enjoying each other's company and sharing memories. At one point, Francis asked if they could record a video together, and she agreed. However, during the recording, he suddenly kissed her without her consent. Shocked and upset, Heaven slapped him and walked away. Despite this, Francis posted the video online. That night, Heaven's manager showed her the trending video of her and Francis, telling her how bad the comments were and revealing that Francis was actually a married man. Frustrated and overwhelmed, Heaven felt like everything was falling apart. Her manager then suggested that she stay off the internet for a while. Meanwhile, Lucas's friend sneaked up on him and caught him secretly reading Heaven's posts online. He confronted Lucas, urging him to be honest about his feelings for her. Lucas, however, pretended not to care but did admit that the rumors trending online about Heaven weren't true. His friend insisted that he go and get Heaven back, but Lucas ignored him. The following day, Heaven recorded a video for her fans, announcing that she would no longer be making music for the time being because she had lost someone important in her life. Lucas watched the video and was visibly moved by her words. As Heaven poured her heart out, she became emotional, and at the same time, Lucas reflected on all the wonderful moments he had shared with her. The next morning, Heaven's manager confronted her about the post she had made regarding her music career and insisted that she take back her statement. However, Heaven refused and responded defiantly. Her manager continued to press the issue, and they ended up arguing before Heaven stormed off. That same day, Lucas's friend approached him again, urging him to go after Heaven and win her back, offering him heartfelt and reasonable advice. That same night, Lucas arrived at Heaven's house and approached her, telling her that he was back. However, Heaven was displeased and expressed her frustration. Lucas pleaded with her and apologized for his insecurity and jealousy. He then reassured her that he wanted her to continue her music career and promised to support her. Touched by his words, Heaven accepted his apology and they reconciled. The following week, Heaven attended a concert and announced her engagement to Lucas. She welcomed him on stage and the crowd erupted with excitement. She then performed her music as everyone danced along, celebrating the moment. So guys, if you enjoyed this story, kindly subscribe to this channel to get more of our latest Nollywood stories.